Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Chat and Channel Session. As you can see, today's topic is the real significance of angel numbers and portal days. We are going to be breaking this down to help you feel into angel numbers and portal days in a more empowering way and recognize more of your co-creator aspect in your reality. But before we dive into today's subject, welcome to those of you who are new and appreciations to those of you who are returning. My name is Danielle, hashtag damsel at D's Enlightened Edits, your energy editor. I am a spiritual medium, quantum Sikhem and shamanic energy healer, metaphysical teacher, life and consciousness coach, energy artist, and so much more. And this is Chat and Channel Session, where my guides, and in some cases some of you, present me with a topic and we do a stream of consciousness channeling on it to help you deep dive and receive your own intuitive insights. If you would like to participate in Chat and Channel Session, feel free to do so by leaving a comment, question, or review, or my favorite way for you guys to participate, which is also provided that you are not driving or operating heavy machinery, of course, by getting out a journal or the Notes app on your phone or favorite device and doing some stream of consciousness writing along with me as I channel so that you can jot down those jewels of intuition that can and will stream through to you in regards to what we are channeling about today. So before we get started, let me direct you, if you would like to work together personally, to my website, Damsel Designs, that's DAMCLdesigns.com, which is always linked in either the bio or description or comment section, depending on where you are viewing or listening to this podcast on. If you would like to work together spiritually, that is my website where we work to connect you with all the dots of the divine design. On my website, you will find quantum and Akashic Records reading sessions, as well as a host of other types of spiritual sessions that I offer right away. There is also digital downloads, enlightened merch, and energy art, and an application form if you would like to deep dive and rise even further by applying for one of my select quantum Sikhem and or shamanic energy healing containers or life and consciousness coaching with me. That application form, as I said, is always available on my website and in the description. So now that you know where to go should you want to work together, let's get back into today's topic. As I said, we're going to be discussing the real significance of angel numbers and portal days. And as someone who basically lived by angel numbers and portal days for a huge chunk of my life and was in resonance with a lot of the communities who are pretty much dependent on that in terms of a belief system, I feel like I have a unique perspective on this that my guides wanted me to speak about today. And whether you are watching this on a so-called portal day or not, I know that it will prove useful for you in terms of understanding that you have more of a co-creator aspect than you think. So this is by no means denigrating the importance or the significance of angel numbers or portal days. I know that they are very important to many people and many belief systems and traditions and mystical practices around the world. And as I said, I lived by them for a long time. But a few years ago, something started happening to me and to my experience whereby I had, I suppose, paid back enough of my karma and come to a point in my healing journey where I recognized and realized that I was being more swayed by angel numbers and portal days than I was by the actual so-called results that they were meant to be having. In other words, I was becoming dependent on needing the validation of angel numbers or portal days in order to feel empowered. And if I didn't have the energy or the tools or the resources to do so-called rituals or manifestations or affirmations on certain portal days, I would feel really disheartened and down on myself. I would feel like I missed an opportunity opportunity, like I lost something, and that those good things that were supposed to be associated with those portal days would not come true and through for me. And as I was working with clients, I realized this was a common theme. And although portal days and angel numbers were supposed to be empowering, they were actually becoming disempowering for those of us who were getting swept up in the tide of the popularity of angel numbers or portal days, and or by the addictive quality of validation of those things. So let's backtrack a little bit, because in case you are not sure what an angel number or a portal day is, I just want to make sure we're all on the same page here. Angel numbers would be ones like you see on the screen if you are watching the video format of this podcast. In other words, 1111, 333, 555, 777, 888, 999, 1212, 111, all of these. Basically, they are repeating numbers and or sometimes mirroring numbers. Those are numbers which are of significance. 444, for example, is also a big one that people associate with angels. Now, you don't have to be a believer in angels, although I most certainly have experienced them, and you don't have to be a believer of certain religious or traditional or mystical practices in order to believe that seeing repetitive numbers can be a sign from the universe. So if you don't necessarily define them as angel numbers, you may define them as signs in general, or as codes, or light codes, or quantum codes. Whatever you call them, most people around the world see a repetitive number and feel like there is some significance there, feel like it is an angel or a spirit or a deity or the universe trying to get their attention in some way. Some people take it a step further and also believe it's their own higher self or unconscious or subconscious. Whatever you believe it to be, most of us see that and we pay attention, right? We jerk up, and that is really the goal. And then over time, once it wakes us up and gets our attention, people start to, now with the resources we have, look up what a repetitive number or a certain set of repetitive numbers could mean. Now, over the years and different traditions, many people have assigned meaning to angel numbers. For example, certain groups seem to take hold and stock of certain subsets of repetitive numbers more than others, and it gets associated with that easily. So 1111 was very big, or could continue to be very big, in the twin flame communities or in the manifestor communities. 444, as I said, is pretty big in the angel communities. It really just depends. And these meanings that have been assigned, most of them are channeled material, but all of them are decisions that people make to assign meaning to those things. Now, it doesn't mean that the decision or the channeling that is associated with a particular number or set of numbers isn't true, but it does mean that we get to decide if we are going to continue to believe in that subjective bit of truth. So it could be very true for the person who created it or originally channeled it, or for the group that continues to allow themselves to be assigned with it. But if you look up what an angel number means, and it doesn't mean that for you, and your heart and soul is calling you in a different direction, please, by all means, listen to your own guidance first. And know that you have the creator rights to do that, to understand that, to look at it in that capacity, and know that yes, it could be used, and probably is being used, as a tool to wake you up by whoever and whatever you believe you're working with in terms of other form of consciousness. But it doesn't necessarily have to mean the same thing for everyone. And this is something that I really wanted to put out there, and my guides and I really wanted to share, because I see so many people awakening to these beautiful religious or spiritual traditions. I, of course, more align with spiritual than religious dogma, but whatever it means to you is fine. And as more people are waking up and accepting that everyone is entitled and deserving to receive signs from either their creator or higher power or other form of consciousness, whatever they believe that to be, many more people are diving into the exploration of what we call these angel numbers. And I don't want to see anyone become disheartened like I used to be, or like some of my clients have been, in terms of looking it up and gee, that's not the meaning that they were thinking that it was. I want you to trust in your own intuition, which is why I always recommend before you look something up, just take a few moments, a few seconds if you can, and you're impatient. Ask yourself and your spirit guide teams, your own soul, your higher power, whoever it is that you would like to work with. What does this mean for me? What is it meant to mean for me? And then dive into the process of asking for support. If you feel you need to look it up, if you feel like you can't get a clear message of what it's meant to mean for you at that time, then ask for guidance as you're looking it up and follow the signs and the feeling as you are looking it up in terms of which information you are going to align with. So, for example, if you are doing a researching online or on a search engine, even in a book, ask to be guided to the correct pages of the book or to the correct web pages or images, whatever you are searching. And then before you allow that assigned meaning to take root and hold for you and the sign that is yours, ask yourself and ask your higher power, is this it? And if it feels like a yes, say thank you and deep dive on what that means for you now. If it feels like a no, it's okay to keep looking and or to make your own definition with yourself, with your soul, with your higher power, with your guide teams, and have that as a secret code between you and your guides in the universe. And just because you may see it and point it out when you're with friends or loved ones or something and they assign a different meaning to it, does not mean that you have to continue to align with that different meaning if it is no longer serving you, or if your heart and soul is calling you to a different meaning. I work with many people all around the world and with their loved ones in spirit and their spirit guides and higher forms of consciousness. And numbers are a great way to send signs because they're surrounding us all the time, right? We don't have to be mathematicians. They're constantly on our clocks or on the road or anywhere we are, basically. And it's an easy way to get assigned through. But if the numbers that spirit or my clients' loved ones in spirit chose all had to be the same thing, life would be really boring and unspecific and unhelpful to the unique relationships that we form with each other and as loved ones in spirit, or the unique relationships that we form with the universe. So, my clients, I love to help them find a sign between them and their loved ones that is unique to them. And even if it's a symbol that can be recognized by millions or billions of people around the world, that meaning gets to be unique between them and their loved one in spirit, or between them and their spirit guide. And so I want to encourage you to form your own unique connections and relations and definitions with so-called angel numbers or signs. Now, that being said, please also be aware that numbers and signs and symbols, if you have adopted or easily bought into the belief that they already have on them in terms of definition, the energy might be a little split at first between the new meaning that you assign to something and its original meaning. So it can be helpful to research or to remember what in general that set of numbers has usually meant for people. But know that you have the co-creative power to reassign that. It just does sometimes, not always, but sometimes take a transition in your mind, heart, soul, consciousness, and reality for that definition to shift out of the shared collective definition and into your personalized definition. So it can sort of act as a dual meaning until you put enough belief behind your solo personalized meaning. Now, with that being said, the same goes for portal days. Portal days usually are days of the weeks and months and years where numbers are repetitive and or mirroring. Many people seem to look at these days as lucky or as openings of portals of energy. And while they can be, and while people, because they've created this mass belief about that day being lucky or about that day being transformative or associated with other events such as astrological events, they've created the power or perpetuated the power of that portal day in order for it to mean something or be an energy enhancer or be positively lucky or healing or chaotic or whatever the definition is that most people are trying to transfix upon that. But you, again, don't have to follow that wave. Now you can look up the meaning or believe in the meaning. And if you like and have a working or a prayer or a wish or a manifestation that could do with support or help in association with whatever that portal day is collectively believed in as meaning, you can absolutely ride the crest of that wave and ride the energy wave that the collective is creating and do your own working and add your own meanings to it and do your own ritual or launch of something or whatever it is that you want or need to do. But if you don't have the energy that day, if you're not resonating, you're not missing out on anything. It is always possible for you to create another wave of energy to ride that. In my opinion and belief and experience, I experience outside of this reality all the time, my whole life. Spirit's always taken me to their realms. It's why I am a shamanic practitioner. And in those other realms and realities, time is not linear. It's not the same. It's not so condensed and dense like it is here, meaning your soul, which is part of those outside and higher realms and other realities, our souls and spirits are timeless, right? We are just points of consciousness that are choosing to experience embodied, supposedly linear time reality. But our souls, and this is why I believe we have higher selves, are always connected to something higher, above, outside that, however you want or need to look at it. So our souls are part of the nonlinear, are part of the timelessness. So you never truly will miss out on something. In terms of quantum energy, all things are possible. We live in a universe with free will where like attracts like, but also opposites attract. So in terms of an infinitely powerful creator, which I believe you and I to be part of in our own ways, all things are possible. And that means you do not ever have to feel like you have to ride the wave that the collective is riding in order to experience or get lucky in a certain thing on a portal day. As I said, if you want to and choose to and feel empowered by doing that, please, by all means, do it. But it is not a requirement for you to be spiritual, for you to be healed, for you to be lucky, for you to manifest that thing, whatever it is. It's not a requirement. It's a choice that you're making to tap into and uphold the belief of that collective reality, or not, in order to maybe separate from that wave and form your own belief, or ride it on the crest like a surfboard and not be swept up in it. Because that's something that I found too, right? When I was so tapped in to the supposed universal meanings of what things quote unquote had to mean, I was so swept up by that in terms of energy forecasts or even astrological meanings sometimes. While you probably know that I dabble in astrology, I am not an astrologer and I am not tied to a belief system of astrology. I believe it's very useful and helpful if we use it as a guide map, but if we attach to it, if we attach to anything really, it can become unhealthy very quickly because then it starts to make our decisions for us. And so if we buy into a belief system of the collective that says things have to be a certain way on a certain day because of a certain astrological event or portal day, then we are more easily controlled and having choices made for us rather than being the co-creators that I know most of us want to be, in terms of, yes, maybe assessing that and observing that as a possibility, but then deciding for ourselves whether we want to use and tap into that energy or not, or whether we want to create or go down a different path. And I want you to know that you have that choice. While we have all made a collective decision to be here and experience certain collective realities that astrology and portal numbers or days can have influence over, there are no hard and fast rules, in my opinion, unless we attach to those belief systems of those rules and continue to uphold them. So I wanted to say that, and as we wrap up today's session here, I also wanted to touch upon how I told you and was honest with you about the fact that at certain points in my journey, I was sort of addicted to seeing those definitions or to giving them as a reader and to seeing those signs, because I want to speak to the groups of you who are really used to and in love with seeing signs in the forms of portal days, angel numbers, anything really, spirit animals, etc. And you know that I work with all of that. But what can happen is a phenomena where you do get addicted to the sign and to the validation aspect of those signs. And then what happens is the universe sees you get all excited about receiving the sign. And what happens to many of us is that the universe says, oh, they got what they wanted. So we don't have to continue delivering the thing that they believed the sign was a sign of. In other words, you could have created or believed in the 1111 sign as an affirmation of your manifestation coming through, right? Whether that's a beloved or anything you're working on. And when you see it, you can take it as the definition of, oh, that's a great sign. It means my manifestation or my love or whatever is coming through. But if when you see that, you get all the energy of having the thing because of receiving that sign, sometimes you're sending a signal to the universe because you're sort of addicted on some level, like I was, no judgment there, to the validation of seeing and receiving the sign. And the universe is seeing that, seeing you get so excited about receiving it, that they're saying, oh, well, you already have what you wanted then, right? Because you got the sign, you gave the big reaction, so you already have what you wanted. Maybe we don't need to continue forming that path of deliverance of the thing or of the person. And this has happened to me and formed loops of manifestations not coming through for myself and for clients and people all around the world until we work on our own validation healing and self-worth healing and understand that the significance of signs can be like a road map or a road marker, right? When we're driving along a highway and it says 5 miles until a certain thing. But when you're driving along a highway and you see 5 miles until your destination, do you start to act like you're already there, or do you keep driving? Because that's the same analogy that I want you to think of the next time that you're receiving your signs. I want you to be happy and relieved that you made it this far and you're seeing the sign that you're close. But don't necessarily act and celebrate as if you're already there, because then the universe will maybe not continue the deliverance of that thing. Because if you stop to celebrate, you're no longer driving down that path to actually get to the point that you need to be in for the universe to deliver. So instead, take the sign and be so happy and relieved and say, all right, me, all right, universe, we did it. That's the sign that we're on the path. What do I need to do to keep going down the path in order to keep receiving? What energy do I need? And while there are certain schools of manifestation that will tell you act as if it's already yours, celebrate as if it's already yours, yes, that can be helpful during other points of manifestation practice. But if you do it when you receive the sign, you're sending a mixed signal to the universe, and you're probably distracting yourself from continuing down the doer and or receiver path that you need to actually receive that thing coming through. And I want you to receive that, whatever those things are for you, just like I want to receive it. And so I'm giving you this hint and this clue so you don't get hit in so many manifestation loops and cycles as I did in the past and as other people I knew around the world, and so that you can actually finish driving to that point of receive. And I look forward to whatever that is for you. And understand that when you ask that question of what do I need to do to keep going down the path, follow that intuition or follow that guidance where it leads you. Many times that guidance will lead you towards doing something like working an action or working on a belief system or doing an energy healing practice or something like that. And those are helpful so that that is our continued path, so that that is our road opener or our hand opener so that we can actually receive whatever it is, right? This is why I love to tie in energy healing into so many things, because it helps us clear that road, clear that path, and clear the mindset and belief systems so that we actually are clear about what we need to do to receive or what we need to do to create. So if you need help in that, like I said, quantum and Akashic Records readings are available on my website, Damsel Designs. That's DAMCLdesigns.com. And if you are really ready to up level and transform your mindset, energy, and experience, you can apply for the energy healing and life and consciousness coaching containers with me through the links on my website and or in the description. And I would love to work with more of you in this capacity. So I'm going to close today's session here. Feel free to comment what this may have enlightened for you today. And I hope that you will also share this with people that you love and appreciate and discuss things with in the spiritual communities so that none of us are trapped in those loops or cycles, and so that more of us can use the true power and significance of these things without giving them or the validation power over us. So thank you so much for being here today. If you've liked this, I hope you will remember to like it. I hope you already are or become a subscriber or follower here at Chat and Channel Session. You will find the playlist of backlog of over 50 chat and channel sessions available on my YouTube channel at D's Enlightened Edits. You can of course also follow me on the daily at D's Enlightened Edits on my Instagram for spiritual inspirations, and you can also find Chat and Channel Session on Spotify, Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, Google Music, and more. We are on as many platforms as possible now, so wherever you would like to listen and or share this material, I would really and greatly appreciate it. If you would like to support the channel and future free and public works such as this, you can do so by becoming a low-cost paid monthly supporter on Spotify and or by leaving an all amounts appreciated donation anytime through www.paypal.me/DS Enlightened Edits. That is not a requirement, but it is really helpful for me to continue to upload this information as many places as possible. So I appreciate those of you for doing that. Those of you who are clients and friends, and all of you who are listeners, I am looking forward to the ways that you use this material to better yourself, your worlds, and your realities. I will hope to see you next time. Be blessed with love, light, and light codes. Love, Danielle. #Damsel at D's Enlightened Edits of DamselDesigns.com. Bye for now.